Hey, what's up everyone? This is Silver Slayer. Welcome to my daily 5 p.m. video. Little disclaimer, when we're talking about triple digit silver, when he's talking about $130 silver, I'm not saying it's going to happen next week, not next month, and hopefully he's not either. Triple digit silver is something that's going to take some time, but I can tell you one thing for sure, silver is worth a hell of a lot more than $100. And if you're going to debate that, then you don't understand silver's true value. But you have to be realistic, and hopefully he gives a realistic time frame, because you don't want to give false hope. You don't want to give unrealistic expectations to silver stackers. Now, I've talked about $100+ silver in the past, and people have called me a silver pumper. And that's because they're assuming. That's because their lack of perception. When I say soon, I'm not talking about next month. I'm talking about the next few years. If I'm not going to be selling for the next 10, 15 years, then soon is the next couple of years. But I'm not talking about tomorrow. You have to be realistic. And if anyone is telling you it's going to happen in the next 6 months, don't listen to them, because that is unrealistic. That would be extremely overbought territory, and it would crash and take multiple years to even recover. So anyways, I do have another announcement. I have a 46,000 subscriber silver giveaway. It's going on right now. The entry video is in the description if you want a chance to win some free silver. So could the price of silver really hit $130 per ounce? I have not read this article yet. It is from Keith Neumeyer, the first of First Majestic Silver, and I'm really interested to see if he does throw out a time frame and how realistic it is, and also most importantly, the points he's making in this video. So the silver price made significant gains in the second half of 2020, rising above $20 per ounce for the first time since 2016, which is crazy. The last decade, the average price of silver has been $15, folks. A lot of people don't know that. They don't look at that. They see $26, $27, $28 silver, and they think it's so low. But recently, that's extremely high. Now, for the bigger picture, that is still extremely low, but for the past decade, this is an extremely high number. The spot price for the precious metal has managed to stay securely above that level well into 2021, and I don't think we're ever going to see $21 silver again. The days of $15, $20 silver are out the window. So nonetheless, well-known figure Keith Neumeyer, CEO of First Majestic Silver, has frequently said he believes the white metal could climb even higher, reaching into triple digits. Now, I've heard a couple different people talk about triple-digit silver. Citibank, Goldman Sachs, a couple other places as well, Silver Institute, they've gave their price forecast. They're talking about $40, $50 silver by the end of the year, which is a lot more realistic, and hopefully he's not talking about $130 silver by the end of the year. Silver is the only commodity that is not reaching its historic highs, and it has reached those highs on two separate occasions back in 1980 and 2011. Now, that's obviously when silver hit $50. I think we're going to see that high breached in the cycle, and when it does, it's going to wake up the market. Once it breaks through the $50 level, I think that it's going to get up to $100 pretty quickly. And I've talked about that in the past. I definitely agree with that. We have a 40-year time frame of resistance levels of $50. So when it breaks past 50, the sky will be the limit. Think about that. Resistance levels are what the price needs to break above. And in 1980 and 2011, it's been $50 almost to the penny. We know that when it breaks above that, articles, YouTube videos, friends, family, your neighbor, your dog, your cat, the person's never invested a single dollar in their entire life is going to be hearing about silver and trying to get a slice of the silver pie. Neumeyer has voiced this opinion often, putting up a 130 price target in November 2017 interview with Palisade Radio. He did so again in March 2018, and in another interview at the top of 2020. At times, he's even been more bold, suggesting the white metal could reach $1,000. Now, if silver hit $1,000, that would be in a decade for me. That, realistically, in my opinion, that would be probably a decade. If I want to be extremely bullish, I'd say 6 years. But $1,000 silver is not going to happen in a year, not even a couple of years, right? It's only at $26, $27 right now. Precious metals are a very slow-paced market compared to Bitcoin, and there's a reason for that, and that's why it's called a safe haven. That's why silver is such a great type of investment, because it's supply and demand. It's not based off speculation. In order to better understand where Neumeyer's opinion comes from, it's important to take a look at the factors that affect the metal's movements, where prices have been in the past, and where other industry insiders believe silver could be headed. First, let's dive a little deeper into Neumeyer's prediction that the white metal could break the seemingly distant $130 level. I'm really interested if he gives a time frame on this. There's a significant distance for the silver price to go before it reaches the success Neumeyer has boldly predicted. In fact, in order for the precious metal to jump to $130, its price would have to increase from its current value by 500%. And I am curious, I want you guys to comment down below after you like this video, what or how long you think it would take for silver to hit $130. Please honestly answer that. I want every single one of you silver stackers to comment what your time frame is, and try to explain why as well. Do you think I'm being, or do you think I'm accurate, or do you think I'm throwing it way too far out? Do you think $130 could be sooner? I'm curious. Do you agree with me or no? And it's fine if you don't, be respectful, but I would love to hear your time frame. Neumeyer sees triple-digit silver prices in the cards, in the part because he believes the current market compares to the year of 2000, when investors were sailing high on the dot-com bubble and the mining sector was down. He believes it's only a matter of time before the market corrects, like it did in 2001 and 2002, and mining sees a big rebound in pricing. It was during this time that Neumeyer himself invested heavily into mining stocks and came out on top. Silver stackers will always get the last laugh. I've been calling for triple-digit silver for a few years now, and I'm more enthused than now, said Neumeyer at an event in January 2020. But I'm cautiously enthused because, I thought it would have happened sooner than it currently is happening. And that is true. If silver wasn't being manipulated, then it would have been. But silver is manipulated. I hate to say it. But there was an article from Ted Butler that talked about, yes, silver is manipulated. Yes, there's a lot of shady stuff going on, but it's going to be ending soon. And Ted Butler even said at the end of the article, think of the highest price for silver that you possibly can and then double or triple it. That was crazy, but he exposed so much corruptness, so much manipulation. That's not just spoofing, other things as well. But he also made a very clear point on how all of that isn't going to be lasting too much longer. So anyways, the silver CEO's enthusiasm is based on the fact that governments in the Western world continue to print money and take on massive debt loads. I think central banks around the world have put themselves into a corner. I think interest rates are either going to stay stable or go lower, and the governments are just going to keep printing money and deficit spending. The scenario is very supportive for gold, and of course that will drag silver along. And I would even say it's more supportive for silver because not only is it deficit spending, not only is it the dollar index lowering, not only is that the dollar's purchasing power weakening, but silver also has a lot of other things on top of gold where gold just simply won't benefit. And that is the astronomically high demand for silver over the next several decades with 5G electric vehicles, silver lithium ion batteries, solar panels, the Green New Deal. I mean, every automobile company is going electric by 2030. And I've been hearing on the radio more and more companies, and they're doing this as a way to catch the customer, because nowadays it's all about saving the planet. It's all about trying to go green. And if you want someone to buy your car and it's electric, and you're going to try to put the argument that your car is going to save the planet, they're going to buy it. especially as they become more affordable. This scenario is very supportive for gold, and that, of course, will drag silver along. Yes, silver is a more volatile version of gold. I call it gold on steroids, but there's also a numerous amount of reasons why silver is going to take on a life of its own where gold just simply will not benefit. In a more recent interview, when presented with supply-side data from the Silver Institute, I call them the holy grail of information, indicating the biggest surplus in the silver market history, Neumeyer was blunt in his skepticism. I think these numbers are made up. He said, I wouldn't trust them at all. He pointed out that subtracting net investments in silver exchange-traded products, ETPs, leaves the market in a deficit, and also questioned the methodology behind the Institute's recycling data, given the most recycled silver metal comes from privately owned smelters and refineries that typically don't make those figures public, which is true. But at the end of the day, that doesn't mean too much. I mean, the SLV alone had 800 or 900 million contracts, nearly a billion. And if everyone was going to try to turn in those contracts, there wouldn't be enough silver. Every ounce of silver you have in your safe right now is 100 times bought over. Theoretically, 100 other people own that silver that's deep 4 feet in your backyard, that's under your bed in a shoebox, hopefully not, that's in your safety deposit box, that's in your safe, that maybe is in your hand right now. More controversially, Neumeyer believes the white metal will become uncoupled from gold, what I was just saying, and should be seen as a strategic metal due to its necessity in many everyday appliances, from computers to electronics to solar panels. I have not read this article yet, but he's making the same points, and that's because he knows what he's talking about, obviously. He also stated that silver production has gone down in recent years. Actually, for the last 7 years, silver production globally has been getting cut back by hundreds of millions of ounces. Hundreds of millions of ounces for the last 7 years. He also stated that silver production has gone down in recent years, meaning, to the contrary of popular belief, the metal is actually a rare commodity. And it's actually more rare than gold. There's no focal silver mines. Silver is found by accident. Miners are looking for gold, but they're not looking for silver. And guess what? The gold that gets dug up is recycled, reused, re-scrapped, because people are going to sell their gold jewelry and all that stuff, and gold is mainly used for jewelry. So the recirculating supply of gold is very, very high. But the recirculating supply of silver is very, very low because silver is used in all these industrial applications. So yes, it comes out of the ground 8-1, but that silver that gets dug out of the ground is thrown away, never to be seen again. But the gold that gets dug out of the ground, it's going to keep getting melted and used for new things. So, according to Neumeyer, we're consuming as a human race over 1 billion ounces of silver annually. And miners are only producing about 800 million ounces per year. And that's been dropping for 3 consecutive years. He also pointed to declining grades, making these for a case of supply deficit. Silver in the future. Oh yeah, by the way, he just mentioned it right there. It's getting harder to find silver. So, silver in the future, what factors affect its movements? In order to glean a better understanding of the precious metal's chances of trading around $130, it's important to examine the factors that can push it to that level or pull it further away. Strength of the US dollar, obviously, I've talked about this numerous times on this channel. Interest rates changing, quantitative easing, also known as QE, all factors that will continue to affect the precious metal, as well as geopolitical issues, elements of supply and demand. Although Neumeyer believes that the tie that binds silver and gold needs to be broken, silver definitely will. The reality is that most same factors shape the price of gold, also move silver. For that reason, it's helpful to look at the price gold drivers when trying to understand silver's price action. Silver is, of course, the more volatile of the two precious metals, and that's because silver is a much smaller market than gold, but nevertheless, it often trades in relative tandem with gold. It's like a volcano. Gold's volcano already erupted when it broke past $2,000, the highest price gold has ever been. In the last 5,000 years, that precious metals have been seen as money. When gold broke past $2,000 last year, that was literally the highest price it's ever been. Silver didn't even hit half of that. So silver's volcano is still bubbling, still hasn't erupted yet. So we also have the past few years have been filled with major geopolitical events such as tensions between the U.S. and other countries, North Korea and China and Iran. Those tensions and other developments, such as huge economic impacts of this situation we're in, have been major sources of concerns for investors in the precious metals market. Precious metals investors have also been closely following the Fed's interest rate plans, right? We have another FOMC announcement coming up, a lot of different things. We also have the Basel III. We have plenty of things in the next couple weeks. I actually just made a video showing week by week what events are coming up and how it's going to affect the price of silver. But further rate cuts remain front and center in many investors' minds, and for a good reason. The Fed continues to have a dovish tone with indications that near zero rates will hold through 2023. It's key for market participants to watch what central banks do, as it could have a large impact on silver. With the U.S. currency being less strong than in previous years, both gold and silver have begun steady inclines, with the white metal managing to hold above $24 in 2021. Silver's close ties to gold's safe haven status will be beneficial in the long term, and there is a strong case to be made for silver's industrial growth potential. According to CIBC market analysts, higher industrial demand for emerging sectors due to factors like the transition to renewable energy will be highly price supportive for the metal over the next few years. There's actually a direct correlation. The higher the silver demand, the higher the price. There's also a direct correlation or negative correlation to the dollar index in gold and silver. When the dollar index is lower, gold and silver is higher, and when the dollar index is higher, gold and silver is lower. And we know that the dollar index is only going to keep dropping. So, the 2021 World Silver Survey, published by the Silver Institute and Metals Focus, indicates that in 2020, the silver market experienced increased investment demand. The investment in ETPs grew by 298%. 298% by the end of the year, which is over 1 billion ounces. Physical silver investment was up 8% to 200 million ounces. Physical investment demand would have been stronger if not for situation supply disruptions. And you got to remember, Mexico, Peru, Chile, Australia, China, the highest silver producers in the globe, and Mexico, Peru, owning up to 40% alone, got hit hard. And even when the mines opened back up, there was very few workers because all of the restraints of the safety precautions. But not only that, think about this. Supply disruptions. When they're trying to send this silver all over the globe, a lot of boundaries were closed, right? There was a lot of things that were going to make it harder for everywhere, all these different countries to get this silver because of the current situation. So silver in the future, historical prices. While the CEO of First Majestic is one of the few saying that silver's poised to reach triple-digit price, there is support for Neumeyer's belief that the metal is undervalued and that the ideal conditions are present for silver prices to rise. And that is definitely true. The perfect storm is here. The stars have aligned. And these conditions include low interest rates, overvalued markets, and monetary systems to overcome with indebtedness. And many are on board with Neumeyer and the idea that mining has entered a bull market. So, if the price of silver does rise, how high will it go? Look at silver's recent history. The highest price was $50 in the 1970s and came close again to in 2011. The commodities price uptick came on the back very strong silver investment demand, right? When investment demand's high, silver's price rises. So the price of silver has yet to trend that high, but it's moving closer, right? 2021, the price of silver reached nearly $30 before pulling back again. So here's other opinions of silver's price. So let's look at this. In 2021, March 2021, and this was when silver was $11 that was 2020 when silver was $11. But anyways, Jeffrey Christian said in his firm, wouldn't be surprised to see the price go back up to test $32 over the next several months. He believes the market fundamentals are supportive to reach $50. We think the price will rise sharp, and that's definitely true. And this is to coincide with the next financial crisis. So Nick Barishev, CEO of BGM Group, thinks silver could hit $50. And this is pointing out people are paying closer to $50 an ounce for silver on sites like Amazon. Why would you ever buy silver on Amazon? Don't ever buy silver on Amazon. Never. I think the $50 price is more realistic and not theoretical ask price. People are buying coins and so on at that price, which is true. So as time goes on, it's a good area to monitor for what the real physical price is. And that's true. People get desensitized to higher prices. There's already $10, $15 premiums on American Eagles, and people are buying them up like hotcakes. That is crazy, because American Eagles should only be worth $1 or $2 over spot like they have been for the last 100 years. Well, they haven't been produced for that long. But, since the beginning, American Eagles are a standard bullion coin because the design stays the same every year. They used to be minted 30, 40 million per year, but only recently in 2019, there was only 13 million produced, which is crazy. And it's even crazier that with that low of a mintage number, they still had a hard time finding enough silver to produce these Eagles. So anyways, I think this was a great article. And by the way, all these different points I throw off, when I kind of side comment, you can fact check me with all this stuff. I don't make these numbers up. I don't make this stuff up. I've been posting daily silver stacking videos for the last 6 years, so you guys can believe what I'm saying. I know some people that are new might think this stuff is too good to be true, but it truly isn't. It truly isn't. Silver is the perfect investment. It's a ticking time bomb waiting to explode. And hopefully it's blatantly obvious when the information's right in front of you. Silver stackers make strategic decisions based off information. That's what investing is. That's what a strategy is. It's a strategic decision based off information. Gamblers throw money, hope it sticks with the odds against them. Investors take this information with the odds in their favor. They adjust and adapt accordingly, and that's why we're so successful. So anyways, I'm going to wrap this video up here. The link to this article will be in the description. Remember, my 46,000 subscriber giveaway. The entry video is open, so don't miss it. Make sure you click the bell so you get notified, because I'm doing a giveaway every 1,000 subscribers until 50,000. So you don't want to miss this stuff. Anyways, thanks for tuning in. This was Silver Slayer. I'll see you guys soon. Peace.